Okay, so we are so excited to be telling this part of the story. Like, now is where it really starts. This is where
Getting juicy. It starts to get interesting.
Yeah, it's not all uphill from here. Specifically, it goes downhill.
It goes up and then down and then up and then
downish. It's
you'll see.
Yeah, no, it's like the stock market.
But
It
hey,
always we're together.
We're together.
We're like, you know what?
What?
Because this is our love story. After the Christmas party, it became really apparent to me that I was in love with someone other than the person that I was dating. So pretty soon after that, we broke up, and I did what any normal, totally sane person would do. I got an apartment 7 blocks from where Ange lived.
Okay, so soon after the Christmas party, I find out that Colt has broken up with his girlfriend, and I am floored. Oh my gosh, he's available. I'm getting a little excited. And I'm also questioning where I'm at in my relationship. And I'm like talking myself down. I'm like, Angelina, don't be a psycho. You can't just go breaking up with people every time you're like attracted to them, you know? And I was like, but this is different, you know? And I don't know. I stayed a little bit longer in this like not healthy relationship that I was in. And so I find out he is apartment hunting, and I'm like, hey, do you want me to come with you? Like, I have lived all over New York City, you know, and I love this. Like, I love apartment hunting. And he was like, no, don't worry about it. I have a great realtor. And I was like, okay, but, you know, maybe check out these areas. Like, I live in Hell's Kitchen, but like on the latter, like the lower half of it. So I was on 37th Street. I was like, I love it over here. There's a lot of new high rises that are up. You should check it out.
Oh my God, you'll like love where I live. Like, I got this cute little apartment, and it's really nice. There's a lot of buildings going up around it. You should check it out. I mean, you know, you should check it. I've lived everywhere. This is my favorite place that I've lived. Do whatever you want.
And he's like, yeah, you know, I'll see. I'll check out the neighborhood. Come to find out later that day, he signs a lease, you guys, 7 blocks from me.
I just knew we were going to be together one day, and I just didn't want her to have to walk very far when that day came. Looking back on that, as somebody said at our wedding, there's a fine line between creepy you person and romantic, and I got lucky. The best part about this time was also one of the hardest parts of this time, and that was becoming friends, like really becoming friends with Angelina.
Okay, we're gonna be friends. You want to be friends? We're gonna be friends.
Now I wasn't in a relationship where I had any guilt or any reason not to fully associate with her.
As time went on over these next few weeks of his new singleness, we started building a friendship. Granted, I was very attracted to him, and like there's no doubt you know, we could feel this like chemistry building. You know, we're in the same neighborhood, we would walk to work together, have lunch, you know, go to the park, you know, take Missy to the dog park, whatever it was, you know.
We had a lot of time to get to know each other. We were always in the swing dressing room together.
My boyfriend wasn't very happy about that, but there was no funny business. Was I falling for him? Yes. But he made me laugh, you guys, and he cared about me in ways that people had never cared about me before, you know, and I loved this time so much.
That was when we started to really become friends, which is when we really started to fall in love. So we're becoming friends, right, at work, and friends go on group excursions together. A group of people from the show want to go see Avatar, and we're really dating ourselves by saying that's when we met, when the movie Avatar came out. And we were going down to Union Square to see the movie. We were going to go to Cozy and then go see the movie, and then it was this whole thing. I love movies. I love going to the movies. I love the whole experience. I love popcorn. I love giant drinks. I love sitting in the theater and watching. Either way, we go to the movie. We go out after to a bar, this bar called down the village. It was awesome. It was just the best time. And we stayed there until everybody else left. It was like 4 a.m, I think. And we're leaving, like friends do, hanging out till 4 a.m. in New York City, hidden bars. And she goes, you want to go to a diner? And I was like, yes, I will do anything to spend more time with you. So we go to this diner that's nearby. that she knows about because she's been living in New York for a while and she knows everything about New York, and I'm just like falling head over heels for her everything that she does. But then she really knocks me out with this next part. We get there to order. She very clearly knows what she's doing when she orders everything on the menu. You want to get some mozzarella cheese sticks, and we should get some milkshakes, right? And I love tater tots, and they have the best pancakes here. We got to get and she orders a Vegas style buffet of food, and I am in heaven. Like, I've met a living angel, and I am so happy that someone shares my affinity for that amount of food and just like living. She just knew how to live, and that is the thing I have always been in love with about her. Yeah, that was everything. I pick my jaw up off of the table and proceed to put it back down so I can shovel all the food into it, put it back up again, and we leave. We're in a cab on the way back to drop her off at her apartment, and she tried to kiss me. And it's like my favorite thing in the world, because this stunningly beautiful inside and out woman that I was so attracted to is trying to kiss me, like is really into me. And it was the hardest thing I think I'd ever had to do, to tell her no, because I knew that we were falling for each other and I wanted it to be our first kiss. I didn't want anybody else to be a part of it. It wasn't our first kiss, but she was dating somebody. It wasn't our first kiss, but I was sort of seeing no. I wanted our first kiss to be clean. It was ours. So I said no to my dream girl when she went to kiss me in a cab at 5:30 a.m. in New York City. But I got it.
This one night is when everything turned around. It's Sunday night. If you don't know, Sunday night is the best night on Broadway because you have one show and you're usually done by like 5 o'clock, and it's party time because Monday is your off day. So usually on Sunday nights, I'd like get ready, when the show's over, and I'd go out with my girlfriends. We start with cocktails, then we go to dinner, then we go to a club. It's sort of like Broadway's like Saturday night. This Sunday night, Colt says, "Hey, what are you doing tonight? Probably going out, the usual, like, I don't know, I haven't really decided." He goes, like, a bunch of us are actually going to the movies, and I think we're gonna like some drinks and dinner afterwards. You wanna come? The movies? Oh, but obviously I wanna come with you. So I'm like, yeah, I love the movies. Let's go. Where are you going? What are you seeing? We start the night at Cozy, which if you guys have ever been to Cozy in New York, it's a little different than the other chains. It's not just like a sandwich shop. It has a bar and they have drinks and you make s'mores at the table. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we got to get the s'mores. We got to get the s'mores platter. And he's like, what? There's s'mores? I was like, yeah, you've never done it? Oh my gosh. And we should get like chocolate martinis and get s'mores. And he's like, oh my God. And we're kind of like doing this and everyone else is like, you guys, shut up. And so we're just like discovering all of this about each other. And I see that he's starting to get like smitten and I'm like all giddy and butterflies. We get to the movie theater. Like, we're sitting close for 3 hours watching Avatar, which I have not a clue what it's about. To this day, I love the ride at Disney. Still not a clear idea of what happened in that movie that night because all I could do was sit in my seat and like reaching for the popcorn and maybe our fingers touched. Like, I was like a 12-year-old giddy girl, And I was like, oh, sorry. Or like, or like our arms are touching. Oh my God. Like, so stupid giddy. So then after this, everyone's like, okay, have a good night, guys. And I was like, no, we need to all go for our drink now. Like, the night just began. It's only like 10 o'clock. It was probably later than that. But so I decide I'm going to bring everyone to my favorite bar in the village. It doesn't exist anymore, but it was a staple, let me tell you. And so this dirty old bar I bring everyone into, it's been there for decades. All the other friends are getting bored and they start to like leave and trickle out into their cabs. And as the last friend leaves, I'm like, let's get one more round because it's last call at 4 a.m. in New York City. We finish our drinks, they're closing up shop, and I'm pretty tipsy at this point, so I need a little food, and like you do in New York, you go to a diner. So I'm like, hey, I think there's a Stardust like down the road or something. We get to the diner and he is like so excited. And I've had a clue at this point that this boy loves to eat. And let me tell you, something that turns me on more than anything is a man that loves to eat. So I'm a big eater. He's a big eater. I'm so excited. I order everything that everyone needs to obviously order at a diner, especially if you've never been to this diner in New York City. So I'm like, obviously the mozzarella sticks, obviously the disco fries, obviously the pancakes. Let's get some milkshakes. Probably knowing me, it was definitely a grilled cheese with tomato, a grilled cheese with tomato. You know, I don't know. I just remember like the table was full of food. And he is like smitten and so happy. He's like, do you always do this? And I was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't, but you only live once, right? So we're eating, we're laughing, we're talking, we're like kind of like so tipsy and like, you know, I'm still so giddy. Like every time we reach for the same French fry, I'm like, you know, but whatever. The night starts to wrap up. Clearly, because the diner guy is like sick of us being there. So we get in a cab. It's like 5:30 in the morning. And we obviously share a cab back because we live now 7 blocks away from each other. And we're like kind of at this point, like slowly falling asleep on each other in the cab. And the cab pulls up to the building and I'm like, just do it, just do it. And I go in to like kiss him because I'm just overwhelmed with the night. Like it was a fairy tale night, you know, and I'm kind of drunk and I'm like, I don't know, in that moment it just seemed right. He says, no, cutie. And I'm like, what? Like I got immediately defensive and he was like, someday we're gonna remember this. And I never want to think that we didn't have our own first kiss. And I was like, he sees a future, like he's planning our future, and he took my face and he kissed me on the forehead and pushed me out the door. And I was just standing there on the street like my heart was so full and also like dropped because in that moment I knew exactly what I had to do.